problem around the world, including in the United States, and you might be surprised to find out where sex trafficking is most prevalent. It's at the Super Bowl. Yesterday, while thousands of fans descended on New Orleans for food, fun, and football, pimps and sex traffickers peddled young women and girls. According to Forbes, 10,000 prostitutes were brought to Miami for the Super Bowl in 2010, and 133 underage arrests for prostitution were made in Dallas during the 2011 Super Bowl. Joining us to discuss this is George Perez, the co-creator of the Life TV series. George, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for having me on.
So why do large sporting events have such seedy underbellies? This really surprised me.
Well, I think, at the end of the day, a lot of it has to do with supply and demand. Because there is demand, there's going to be supply. And when you have a large group of men, primarily, flooding a city in mass to have, fun over a weekend, there's going to be a certain amount of those guys who will seek out this kind of stuff just so they seek it out in their own communities, in the numbers of the crowd, as a diversion, unfortunately.
So when the law enforcement, obviously they know that this is probably going on from times in the past, what do they look out for?
I mean, you can do whatever you want with me. I guess you could bring your friends around after.
That in New Orleans, where the Super Bowl was taking place, that there were 5 women were rescued and 8 human trafficking related arrests were made in New Orleans. Okay, as of Friday. So who knows what happened Saturday, Sunday. Just a little dark underbelly there of your Super Bowl. You'd think that we would have a war on sex trafficking, wouldn't we? There's 10 to 20,000 sex slaves in America right now. I mean, I'm talking, these are women, many underage, that are literally kidnapped or brought here under false premise of having a job, and they're literal prisoners in houses or in the back of massage parlors or wherever. There were a couple arrests of human trafficking prostitutes. And the underage arrests for prostitution were made in Dallas during the 2011 at large events. Why echelon has been used to catch sex traffickers? You'd think that in a 30-day period, in a month or two, the government could probably launch some sort of an operation and save all of these women.
Then this guy kind of show up again and again, and he'd bring champagne and dresses. Those dresses were so nice. They felt so soft on my skin. But then he'd start to bring along a friend or two, and the sex stuff never bothered me. It was like drinking water to me, and they weren't anything like it was with Randy. He was gross. He smelled like bad, cheap beer, and when he put it in, it hurt. But whoever Hugo'd bring along was always so nice and sweet. Well, there was always this one guy who always bought me this sexy underwear, leather stuff with weird zippers and stuff, and all he wanted me to do was kind of hurt him or go pee on him, and I wouldn't do that kind of thing. It was really funny. I laughed at him, but it wasn't funny to him, no. He'd get kind of mean if I didn't do what he wanted me to. So one day I ran up to Hugo and begged him not to bring that guy back over. But Hugo told me he paid us so much money that we could stay on at the W for weeks. I couldn't believe it, but I told him, no, I didn't want to do it with him again. And Hugo, he just kind of smiled and said, "It's okay, sugar. You don't gotta do nothing you don't want to." But it got kind of peculiar because we just got in the car, checked out of the W, and kind of drove, and he wouldn't talk to me, but he was always on his cell phone arguing and shit. He tried to tell me how much we needed the money, that we had to pay some other people and we couldn't stay at the W no more unless I met more guys like that one. Now I remember this like it was burned into the back of my skull. We stopped at this crummy little motel at the side of some little highway near here, near New Orleans. It was called the Texas Motor Lodge or some shit. Mexicans stayed there. And we was fighting then, and he wouldn't let up. Finally, we pulled over there, and he pushes me out of the car, beats me, and rolls me on the ground. Me and my pretty pink dress he got from Versace or something. He tore that dress right off of me and tossed me a pair of ripped up shorts I had from Oklahoma. He tossed them at me and he said, "You ain't good for nothing, you stupid whore. You ain't good for nothing, you stupid whore. I'm leaving you just like I found you. I'll be in New Orleans, and if you want those fancy little dresses back, you have to get your own dirty ass to New Orleans." Like the city was miles and miles away from there, and he said, "You can find me at the W Hotel there in New Orleans, but you better not say anything to anybody about what you do for money." You see what I mean? You get it? You see, I don't care none about the sex stuff. I mean, you can do whatever you want with me. I guess you could bring your friends around after. Can we go back to the W? I liked that place. It has a real nice pool, and I liked walking down the hallways. They were real dark and they made me feel like I was in a Hollywood movie.